record this just so that you have it, and then if you can text me and just remind me, I'll make sure that I send this link to you. I'll put it on YouTube so you can see it. So right now you're 108 degrees out of your back leg. So you're squatting pretty well. It's below 110, but I'd like it to be below 100. Okay, so what that means is your back hip can go down probably, it's not much. It's, maybe just a few inches. Okay, just even that's 4 inches squat, and you're at 95 degrees.
Okay.
So that's where I'm going to help you. That's where the strength comes in. The strength, getting in the weight room will help you get into these positions easier, for sure. But we just got to show you how. So that power to the back leg, that's definitely something that you got to work on. So as you plant into this front foot, you can see where this front foot is planted. You see how far it is this way?
Yeah.
It's going this way, okay? And this, let's look at where your knee is. This is what we call, what I'm looking for is once you plant, your knee is quite open, which is fine as long as you rotate around it. So your knee isn't moving very much, but it is quite wide. I'd like to, as long as you're going in that direction, I'm fine with that. But this is where I think you can improve. You're at 120 degrees. So while this knee direction is okay, this needs to be improved. So what I would like to do is to make sure that this knee comes and rotates back, that it retracts.
Okay.
So definitely the front knee, that low angle is what we're working towards. The next thing I'm going to worry about is this double angle. So I'm at 116 degrees. This is fabulous. This is where your flexibility is good. You release the ball here, and your back leg comes in a little bit. And technically, your back leg would be off of that torso. You see where that line is?
Yeah.
So ideally, I would like you to get to the point where you have more ground force contact, where your foot is pushing off for a longer period of time, making sure that this back leg straightens out. That's going to give you more power to lock this front knee back.
Mm-hmm.
So while the knee is a problem, but the back leg creates that problem. Okay? So that's what I want you to understand. Like, this is a good thing about life too. Like, you got to understand that it's not just one thing.
Right.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything, and that's what's frustrating. Like about life is you struggle in one part of your life, but it also bleeds into everything else.
Yeah.
Isn't that frustrating?
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. So that's why it's mechanical, not continuity, efficiency. Mechanical efficiency is important. Same with character in your life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got to tell the truth and do all the things that are necessary, and then your efficiency goes up. So that's it. So at release point, this is where your release point is. Your release point is what we call a B posture. It's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just that's where you're at. So I want you to watch your head. So your head's right here, and then your head comes and drives to that. It's not a huge thing, but I think it's something that can definitely hurt you in the long run. We're playing the long-term game. So that's a head posture change that I'd like to change. So you're a B posture. When you start, I want you to be a little bit back behind your hips, your chest.
Okay.
So let me just draw it like a little bit further back. We're talking like 3 or 4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Small changes. So now we get into release point. Your release point's quite far out in front, which is good. See how far out in front your release point is?
Yeah.
It's past your front foot. That's where I want it. So that's good. Let's get into stacking and acromial. So stacking, you're doing a good job of stacking back this back knee, and your upper body's rotating back, but your chest is going where?
Yeah, it's going forward.
Forward, and I just want to make sure it's back a tad. Okay. So stacking, I think you can improve on that instead of rotating forward. Okay. Let's look at your front glove. Your front glove, as your front glove goes out, it pinches and it rotates. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's anything crazy, but your shoulder blade pinches really well. Now, I want to keep that going. That's good. So then we get into our high elbow, and I think you have a little bit of a high elbow, and I'll show you what I mean. At the end, you see what's happening to your elbow.
Just kind of like, I can't really tell.
It's going down a little bit.
Okay.
So watch. See how it went down? It's climb. You're trying to get back into that slot. But right here you're elevated, and then right there you're fine. So that's fine, but that's a drag and a delay on your shoulder, and I don't want that. I want like smooth rotation. I want everything together. I don't want any collapsing. But part of that has to do with, look at your back leg. What's your back leg doing?
It's coming off the ground, looks like, yeah.
Yeah, so when your back leg's not tied to the ground, then your upper body has to compensate for that.
Yeah.
So those are all connected. Okay? So high elbow, definitely something I want you to work on. And then I want you to work on, let's look at, you have good external rotation. So your arm lays back quite well, which is, typical of most throwers, but there's a lot of throwers who just don't lay back very well. And that's where we're going to have to really take care of your arm. And then your arm comes over top, which is pretty good. It doesn't fly out. So what I mean by flying out is, you've seen a lot of guys that really go far out, right?
Yeah.
And I want to minimize that to the point where I want to push it through. So what's faster, this or getting it through? And I want to make sure, which one? Long, short? Short one. It's how fast can I get my wrist through? You know what I mean? As opposed to letting it go wide.
Yeah.
And you don't do that, so that's not an issue. Okay? I'm just kind of explaining it to you. So, and then I think that's it. Everything else. So front knee, okay? Back leg. Power to the back leg needs to improve, right? You're 108 and I need to be below 110, so you need to squat. Your posture, staying back. You're stacking, right?
Yeah.
Instead of going forward, I'm staying back. Your high elbow, and that's about it. So we got 4 or 5 things to work on, and then